Hello and welcome to this Europe Direct Ballinasloe video. Today I'm in Galway City with Hannah Schroeder, who has done an Erasmus internship at Galway City Library, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her experience of Erasmus. So Hannah, give us a little background about yourself first of all.
Okay, so I'm a 22-year-old student. I study at a university in Germany and I study two subjects. One of them is English. And that's what ultimately led me to choose the internship here, because we had to do one because of our degree, and being in a library kind of falls under the cultural aspect of English, so that's what made me choose coming here.
And how did you start, how did you get to choose Erasmus? What were the steps that you had to go through?
So my university was very supportive with that, so they kind of offer you information about how to do it, what kind of options there are for going abroad, and a kind of step-by-step guide, what you actually have to hand in, motivational letter and stuff like that. And yeah, that's how I got to Erasmus.
So they helped you pick your country and where you were going to work?
No, I picked that myself. But you had to fill that out in the Erasmus document later.
Okay. And the Erasmus funding then, can you tell us a little bit about how that worked for you?
It was actually quite easy because you just had to fill in the forms that they gave you, which were a little complicated, but they were all very nice with assisting with that. And as soon as you handed all of that in and signed two documents, they sent you the money. So you got 80% before. I got 80% before I went abroad, and the last 20% I get when I actually get back and finish the last few things for Erasmus.
That's great. So that makes it very easy for you to actually travel then, because you have
Yes.
the money up front.
Exactly.
Great. So can you tell us what's been a highlight of your time working here?
I'd say there were a lot of highlights because it's very nice, even though you have to work under the week, it's very nice to just do stuff on the weekend. And Ireland is just a very beautiful country, especially here in the West, because you can do a lot of things on the weekend. So I'd say, yeah, just probably going to the Aran Islands was one of my highlights because it was so nice and the weather was just perfect. Yeah.
Lovely. Did you get homesick while you were traveling?
I kind of got, not really homesick, but when I talked to my mum a few times, it was a bit after, it was a bit like, I miss them, but because there's so much to do and it never gets boring when you're at work and then you do stuff on the weekend, there's not really a lot of time where you are alone and have to think about that you're alone in a different country. So yeah.
Okay, and were you traveling with other people?
At first I did a few trips alone, then I met another Erasmus student, Martina, and we did a lot of stuff together. And then I met another German student and she also joined in, so it kind of formed into a group.
Okay, and then obviously you're in Ireland during the pandemic, or at least the tail end, hopefully, of it. Did that impact your experience of an Erasmus internship?
I think it did, because I applied first for Erasmus or for the internship in 2019, and then it got pushed back, obviously, because of the pandemic. And it's still you feel kind of anxious still, because you don't just go into shops like you would have before the pandemic, and you maybe don't also just go into a pub like you would have before the pandemic. So I think it has impacted my experience, but not necessarily in a negative way. It's just been a different experience.
Okay. And do you think that having done an Erasmus, it's changed your plans for the future or impacted them in any way?
I'd say so, maybe, because before I never really knew if I wanted to go abroad again, and now that I've done it, I think I'll probably definitely do it again. Just maybe not move there permanently, but just to go abroad maybe for another year, get some more experience.
So it's given you a lot of confidence in your...
It has, yeah. I didn't realize that until one of my friends told me that she's noticed how some stuff has changed, because you're basically on your own the whole time. There's not really, even though you can talk to the people at work or maybe your roommate or whatever, but you're still basically on your own, so you kind of need to get that confidence, I think.
Yeah. So being an Erasmus has given you the confidence and taught you to, I suppose, in work and live in a different country.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you feel you've learned or benefited from by doing the Erasmus?
Don't know. Maybe just personal growth overall. That is because it changes you when you just go abroad from everything that you know, and just be on your own. I think that helps you grow in a sense, and helps you figure out who you are and what you want to do. I think that's what helped me.
If you were doing it again, what would you do differently, or is there anything that you do differently?
I don't know if I would do anything differently. I mean, it would be great if it just could be a bit more structured, because obviously due to the pandemic that wasn't really possible. It got moved so many times. But I don't think I would do anything differently, because it was just a very great experience overall.
Okay. And your internship or your Erasmus program, this is for how long this time around?
So it was for 3 months. I could have prolonged it for up to 12, but because unfortunately I have some other responsibilities at home, I can't at the moment. But if you feel like you have the time, then I would definitely recommend thinking about it.
A longer one. And once you've done, you know, there's no limit on the number of times you can apply for an Erasmus program. So would you consider doing a longer stint at another time?
Yeah, definitely. If I know that I don't really have any pressing responsibilities, and that I can actually enjoy doing a longer stay. Because now 3 months seems like a lot before you go, but then you actually arrive and it takes you time to get settled, and then you feel like you finally settled in, and then it's almost over.
Yes.
So I'd say if there's time for longer stay, definitely do the longer stay, even if it might be a bit intimidating. But I think the 3 months was just a very good way to get into it, because I've never been abroad on my own, and never stayed outside of my house, or like outside of my family home for such a long time. So I'd say it was a good way to get into it. But if you have the maybe confidence to do it longer, or just the opportunity to do it longer, I definitely would do that.
Yes. Are there any tips that you would give to someone who's thinking about doing Erasmus?
I don't know if there's really tips that I could give. I feel like I don't really have everything figured out. But maybe just try to make friends as quickly as possible, because it's nice to do stuff with people and not on your own. Because it was nice to do the things on my own, but it was definitely way more fun to do them with other people.
Yes.
So even though, I mean, it was quite hard to find someone else, obviously because of the pandemic, and it's just, I find it difficult in general to meet new people, but I'd say that's definitely a tip. Try to find someone you can do stuff with, because it definitely, it's a better experience.
Okay. And could you sum up your Erasmus experience in maybe 3 phrases, 3 words, 3 phrases?
Overwhelming at first, very fun, and maybe life-changing sounds like such a weird word, but it is in a sense. Yeah.
Okay. And then just, I suppose, to sum up, you know, you've had the opportunity to travel, you've had the opportunity to work abroad, and that was supported by the Erasmus program.
Yes.
Which allows people to work and study and do apprenticeships across Europe. If you were making recommendations to the Erasmus program for how they might support people traveling, is there anything that you feel could be improved upon?
Maybe try to make it easier to connect other Erasmus students that are maybe in the same country or even in the same city, because I found it a bit difficult to find a way to connect with other people, even through social media. So maybe that was just me, that I didn't find the right groups or something, I don't know. But yeah, I'd say that would maybe be a tip, to make it a bit easier to connect with other Erasmus students that might be in close proximity.
Great. Thank you very much, Hannah.
Thank you.